Welcome back to Wingcat Sports. Today we are going to talk about the Red Wings season, give a quick overview of how we felt the season went. I'll start off with this one. I think they didn't do bad. They met my prediction for the year. I thought they were going to be ninth, 10th place. They were 11th, 12th place, a little bit less than I thought, but about what I predicted. Hopefully they can have a good off season and get back to where they need to be next year.
I didn't get a chance to watch many Red Wing games, to be honest with you. I work afternoons, but of what I saw, um, I expected more out of them for Stevie Eisenman to be here for 4 years. And, you know, I kind of think they should have been a playoff team by now. Maybe I'm wrong. Their defense has got awful, and they don't score a lot of goals.
They definitely need to improve on defense. I think that should be the main focus in the offseason is getting a couple really good defensemen because that will bolster up the defense and probably have us in the wild card next year. Anything short of being in the playoffs next year is a failure. They need to be in the playoffs next year.
Well, how long are you going to give Steve Eiserman?
He only has a couple more years, especially if you don't make the playoffs next year. He's on the hot seat to make the playoffs within the next 2 years.
Is he on the hot seat, though?
I would say he is. He has to be on the hot seat.
Well, I mean, Steve Eisenman, so they're going to give him far more time than they would normal people. Even and Chris Ilitch, to me, if the three problems with the Wing are, number one, their owner doesn't give a crap. Number two, they're incredibly soft. They can't. They just basically fold any time anyone puts any real physical pressure against them. And number three, they lack any really elite players. You have to have elite players to do anything. They have a lot of good players. They have potential players, but nobody on that team is a star. Dylan Larkin, I like the guy. He's a good number two center. I think that's been pointed out a number of times by the fan base. They know this.
Not a number one center.
Chris Ilitch is the main problem. And when we do a Tiger show, I'll say the same thing. If your owner doesn't give a crap, and he doesn't seem to give a crap, then you're probably not going to go very far. It starts at the top. We see it with the Lions for the first time in a long time. We see an ownership that actually seems to want to win. And we need that with the Wings and the Tigers. So sell the team, Chris Ilitch. Sell.
Well, hopefully in the next couple of years stuff happens. Tigers wise, they ain't gonna happen anytime soon, but we'll talk about that in our Tigers video.
Yeah.
But Red Wings wise, they do need to get a forward. I don't know if that's the top priority. I feel if you strengthen the defense, it will give the offense more opportunity. You are young. I don't want them to trade any picks. Draft a bunch of young guys. Be good. You'll be good in the offseason. If you can get some bigger names to come here and strengthen our weaknesses.
Did they just sign Hossa to another contract?
Husso, you mean?
Husso.
I think
sorry, you two.
I believe Husso we traded for him, so we do have him for at least a couple of years.
Okay.
But our goalie situation should be okay.
Casper is only 18 years old. He did not look out of place in that one game, playing on a broken kneecap. Gee, he looked good. Made some decent plays. He wasn't on the score sheet, but we need a number one center. Larkin's a fine number two center, but we need to get some bangers on that team. We need to, and put the puck in the net. Their last 5 games, they scored 1 goal in every game except for the Buffalo game, which they lost 7-6, and it gets shut out by Tampa Bay at the end.
Yeah,
I know they probably weren't giving a crap at that point. Maybe they were tanking. I don't know.
Well, everybody thought for a while that they had a chance to make the playoffs, and then they played Ottawa twice. And
once they played Ottawa twice and played that horrible weekend,
they improved after all, and everybody when beginning at the offseason last year when they made those offseason moves, they all thought, oh my God, this team it looks like it's a possible playoff. Should at least improve to be around, hopefully, maybe it was wishful thinking. You thought, 85 to 90 points. They ended up with 80. That's only 6 points better than last year, which they were abysmal for the last 3 months.
When you look at the standings, you're actually 5 games out of a playoff spot. You are 5 games out of actually being a contending spot. So really, they are about probably what we thought, just a little bit less than what they thought with a few rough games. You had the Ottawa weekend, which was bad. You had the other games that were bad. A couple turnarounds during the year that would have went our way. We might have been a playoff team. We might have been that 8th seed. Getting blown out by Boston would have been the 8th seed that we probably figured they would be. None of us thought they were going to be decent, but decent enough to probably contend for a playoff spot. That's what most of us felt like they were going to do.
I suppose so. I just didn't see enough improvement to really get me excited even for next year. Hopefully most of these younger players, like I said, maybe a couple of them can turn into elite players. They keep talking about Cedar doing that. I think he's a fine, but yeah, I don't like the fact, and that's not his fault because I think that must be under instruction not to fight. But he doesn't even fight back. I mean, people come up to him and punch him in the face, and he just takes it. He doesn't do nothing.
They don't want the young guys getting hurt.
Like that. We grew up. I mean, me and Ed grew up with Probert and Kosar, and there were teams of the late '90s, and those teams.
Well, the '90s in general were more aggressive.
Well, every night was like
slap
shot, basically.
You watch the other teams in the playoffs this year. You watch the Tampa Bays, the Rangers, the Boston Bruins. They don't take shit. Oh, well, yeah, I can say shit on them.
Yeah.
You sure as shit can.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't take shit. They're gonna push back. They're gonna drop the gloves now and then. We haven't a single player on that team. I don't think that you could call a fighter.
You traded the one guy who would fight, which was Bertuzzi. And him wasn't as much of a fighter.
Is that a direction by the coach or by management or what?
I think they just want to make sure the young guys aren't getting hurt. They might sign some people in the offseason to be more enforceful. We'll have to see what they do in the offseason. And we'll do a bigger video overview of what we want the offseason to be like eventually.
If anything else, it's entertaining. People love it.
Well, yeah.
Why wouldn't you want it?
When we go see the minor league hockey, we like seeing them fight all the time. It's entertaining. It is entertaining.
That's what sports are. It's supposed to be fun.
What do you guys think of Lalonde after his first?
No, that's not a bad first year.
Yeah.
He did pretty good his first year, right? Again, it's about what I expected the team to be. A little less, right? But still on par about what I thought they would be. You have a few bad games. Your record shows it. You could have been a better team. You weren't a better team.
So are we all on par for where we expect them to be next year in the playoffs?
They should be in the playoffs next year.
I thought they should have been in the playoffs this year. I said, Yzerman's had 4 years.
With who's in the division, Boston will not be the same team next year, right? Toronto. Tampa will not be the same team next year. Your main worries have to be Buffalo and Ottawa. Can you beat Buffalo and Ottawa to a wild card?
That's what I could add. Number 4 of the things that worry me is that teams that I thought we'd be ahead of have passed us by. About the only team that we're better than in our division is Montreal.
Montreal, for sure, we were better than. Ottawa and Buffalo are slightly better, if not on par.
And they passed us up.
Depending on exactly where we look at. But they are ahead of us in the standings. They do look a little bit better than us. But it's, again, going to come down to the offseason. Right. Well, our decision on next year completely will decide what they have in the offseason. But if you aren't going for the playoffs next year, then there's a problem.
Right. And I don't think there's anything they'll do to solve that problem as long as Chris Ilitch owns the team. He's not going to fire Steve Yzerman. The guy's a freaking legend in this town. And he acts like, there are times, and maybe I'm a little hard on him, but there are times he just almost is condescending.
He's kind of like
when you listen to him talk to the general public and stuff like it's, hey, we're going in the right direction. Well, are you going to go in the right direction for the next 15 years? Are we going to freaking be 2035? And
well, that's the one thing.
He's kind of like to hockey fans what Harbaugh is to Michigan fans.
Wait a second, there. Harbaugh has won 2 Big Ten titles. That's
maybe that could be
8
what I mean in terms of
we've won championships.
This guy will leave on his own accord if the team doesn't.
Well, okay, I agree.
That's what I mean.
But at least Michigan has had some success. I don't.
Michigan.
Coming from Michigan State person who hasn't won anything.
But no, you're right. So next year, a definite playoff team.
It should be a playoff team.
100%. All right, we're all on board for that.
Right. Anything else before we end the video?
Not that I can think of. I hate you, Chris Ilitch.
Well, anything you want to add?
No, just keep tuning in. Please subscribe. The shows will get better. You know, we do this show when we can. I'll appear when I can. You know,
As time goes on, we'll have more topics, more videos
Yeah,
to talk about.
like I said, I work afternoons, so sometimes I'm out of the loop as to what's going on. A lot of times,
This is
but
what I look
I
like when I
inform
watch the
myself.
Red Wings every night. This is the face I have on.
You know, I can't wait to do Lions draft shows.
We got the draft in a week, and
Yep.
then we should be getting something
2
out soon
weeks.
about. We should be getting something out soon for about following
So
that. But
stay tuned for more shows, better shows.
until next time, like, subscribe, comment, share, do all that fun stuff,
It's a
And
glad
we'll-
to have
and we will see you guys soon.